Hmm. Good morning, Lourdes.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coaching Conversations. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Maria 𝐸𝐴𝐵.
And I'm Lourdes Leeper. Be sure to watch to the end for some practical practices you can start using right away. Today, we're diving into something that's so powerful, how to protect your peace when someone treats you badly.
Yeah, you know those moments when someone's words or actions just hit us wrong and our mind just starts to circle, starts to spin. Oh, why are they like this? Or what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me?
Yeah, this is like, if you're watching, if you have stumbled on this video, please pause and really listen, because this is so good and I think it will really help a lot of people. Sometimes we we carry other people's negativity inside us, but
Mhm.
it's important to recognize that that's not your burden to carry. It's theirs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're going to unpack today. Inspired by some ancient wisdom that's really relevant for anyone struggling in toxic relationships, criticism, or just those the just chaos of dealing with difficult, sometimes negative people.
Yeah, and the likelihood is that you have someone that's popping into your mind, right?
Yeah.
As we're saying this, I know I do. And so here's the issue. When someone treats you badly, it's easy to spiral into self-doubt, anger, or stress. We replay the scene in our heads, trying to fix or understand it. We internalize it. We absorb their negative energy and we let it disrupt our peace. It robs us of our peace. But the truth is, their behavior is about them, their choices, their struggles, their day, their nature. But all too often, we get duped into believing that it's about us. And this is a trap I see my clients fall into often. They make other people's behavior mean something about them, and then they create a whole narrative around it.
Yeah, and you're so right. It's so important to work this out, to not carry others' negativity with us, because over time, um, it actually gets worse, and we really risk becoming bitter. And I think that we all know people that are bitter, and this is just one of the many avenues that it takes to become a bitter person, thinking that everything is about you and making yourself wrong and picking on yourself about it. I remember being in a restaurant where the waitress she was clearly having a bad day. And we were in a group, and my friend, she made it about her. She couldn't see what we could all easily see, that the waitress was having a bad day. And it really soured the event. And you could see that this person has this thing about making it all about themselves. And that's really a level of maturity that we need to overcome. That level is a level of the child, where the parent makes it all about us. And it's at some point, it's not all about us. It never was. It just seemed that way. And this is why the rest of us, or when we're having a good day or we're feeling all right, this is why having these emotional boundaries is really important. It's vital to our mental health, to separate what's ours from what's not, instead of trying to control or fix these other people's emotions. And that's the kind of stuff that just drains us. And biologically, when we internalize the negativity that these people have, or that sometimes we are, guilty of, our stress response, it just kicks in, and that floods the cortisol, and it doesn't make us feel good. It makes us feel bad. It actually wears down our immune system, and it impairs our clear thinking.
Yeah. So taking someone else's bad behavior personally, it's not just emotionally exhausting, it can literally affect our body and brain health. And it creates stress, which is so detrimental to our health. But I also want to say I'm a mom, and sometimes I have bad days, right? Everybody does.
Hmm.
And the thought of my daughters internalizing my bad day to mean something about them, that just crushes me. Oh, goodness. Sorry. Please go on, Maria.
Is this where I should fill in with a joke, a little comedy? No, I'm kidding.
Well,
No, and
wait,
keeping on track.
I just want to finish the thought. This is something that my daughters are young adults, and this is something that we've spoken about because it happens. It just happens. You have a bad day, and then your child makes it about them. They think, oh, mom's angry at me, and no, mom's just angry, or mom's
Right.
just sad, or whatever. It's like, and getting to the place where you can separate other people's emotional life from yourself, from having it mean something about you. That's essential. But and this is again what I see a lot with my clients, that it's how mom treated me, or it's how dad treated me, and now I have a negative view of myself, and an accompanying inner critic with their voice telling me how I didn't get it right, or whatever the thing may be. So on you, Maria.
Okay. Wow, what, I have to follow this? No. The thing is, like, it's what Marcus Aurelius says. You have to be your own person, right? He says he's his own man, and his actions are his own. And we have to be the same way. We have to realize that, once we put those emotional boundaries, we have to understand that, people have bad days. It's not about us. People do things, and it's not about us. People act a certain way, and again, it's not about us. And we have to shift that perspective. We have to look at it as it's not about us. It's not about us all the time. And when someone is mistreating us, that's their responsibility, not ours. So you have your own nature, your own values and actions, and you're meant to honor those. You're meant to validate yourself. You're exactly where you need to be, acting according to your true self.
Yes. And this idea ties in beautifully with the concept of locus of control, right? Focusing on what we can influence instead of what we can't. People with a strong internal locus of control tend to be more resilient and less anxious. It's about having that inner compass that guides your actions, and this is what defines you. It's not based on other people's opinion or behavior toward you. And, neurologically, that means that you're engaging your prefrontal cortex, the brain's executive center, which helps regulate emotions and stops us from reacting impulsively when someone offends us.
Yeah, it's learning to separate yourself from other people's emotions, right? Again, it's about the emotional boundaries. And when you have self-esteem, when you respect yourself, you aren't looking for others to validate you, and so you're not easily offended, and you're not taken off course. You're not stressed out or go into the chaos. And when you focus on your own nature and values, you strengthen these brain circuits, your mind, your that plasticity, you're rewiring yourself, and you get stronger with the practice. And it helps you respond with calm and clarity instead of being hijacked by stress and anger.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, and so if you've been hurt or frustrated by how others treat you or have treated you, or if you're in a toxic relationship, a difficult work environment, or you tend to overthink and blame yourself, this shift in perspective helps by giving you permission to stop carrying emotional baggage that isn't yours. So you can reclaim your energy and focus on what truly matters, your own growth and your peace.
Yeah, it really is a powerful reminder for caregivers and leaders and anyone with a big heart, really. When you feel drained by others' negativity, adding the emotional boundaries will allow you to it'll allow you to engage without getting drawn into the drama and their emotional turmoil. And this is something that when we work with our clients, that's what we're doing. We're working with their past. We're working at how they saw things from an I standpoint instead of a circumstance viewpoint, where you zoom out of what has happened instead of being so, internally focused on how it made you feel, how it was all about you, when in most cases as children, a lot of things aren't about us. It's about the circumstances and about the adults. But as children, that's how we gain some significance. As adults, what we have to do is we look at the past and just reshuffle it and shift that perspective so that we can say, oh, okay, well, that wasn't about me. And so if that wasn't about me, it doesn't mean this, and then I can let this go. And when you start letting go of that emotional baggage, your freedom starts coming in right away, because you don't have that baggage. You don't have that those stones of the past weighing you down.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so essential. I'm going to derail us for another minute or so. I've been watching The Bear, and I'm not going to give any spoiler alerts. I think it's a great show. Jamie Curtis plays a mom, and she has this scene where she's just apologizing about how she treated her children. And she's like, it was about me. And, it was about what I was going through, and, my confusion, my lack, my inabilities, right? And
Mhm.
frustrations and everything. And it was such a powerful, wonderful scene. And, it just, sometimes that's what it is. I mean, I've seen that over and over again with my clients, where they took their parents' behavior, or their bad behavior, right? How they treated them, to mean something about them, and made them feel like they lacked value or worthiness. But it really was just about the parent and what they were dealing with, the resources, the lack of resources, and maybe the recipe that they were following for what parenting looks like, right?
Right.
Um, yeah. So here's a daily practice to start owning your own peace, right? So when you feel triggered by someone's behavior, pause and ask yourself, is this really about me, or is it all about them? And then notice the physical signs of stress, whether it's, tight shoulders, a rapid heartbeat, a knot in your stomach. Acknowledge it and take 3 deep breaths to help calm your nervous system. That will be a start.
Right. And then journal briefly. Write down the whose problem this really is, and affirm your boundaries, your emotional boundaries. And you can take a look at things from the past, because sometimes we made decisions based on what we thought was happening. And if you look back and you see, oh, that's what I thought was happening, but what was really happening now that I'm older, and maybe I've heard it from my older siblings or from family members or my parents, I can see that that's not what was happening. So what decision did I make about it that is really not valid? And before you go to sleep, reflect on moments when you honored your nature, not your negativity.
Remember, reclaiming your peace is a practice. And so be patient and compassionate with yourself. Brené Brown reminds us, you can choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you cannot choose both.
Yeah, you have the power to choose peace, even when others don't treat you well. And we'd really love to hear from you. When have you successfully protected your peace from someone else's negativity? Share your experience, comment below, and let us know.
Thanks for being here. We're walking this path right alongside you. Take care of your mind, take care of yourself, and support our work by liking, following, and subscribing. We'll see you next time.